The End of the Fucking World is one of those shows that strikes a perfect balance between being all too familiar and yet strangely new. Based on the comic of the same name, it follows James, a teenage psychopath looking for a chance to kill a person, and Alyssa, a girl with a fierce temper looking to escape from her mundane life as they run away from their small hometown and go on an adventure to find a new place to start their lives. Or at least, that's what Alyssa's doing. It's a fun show with a lot of interesting characters that blends all the tropes of a typical American road trip movie with the self-deprecating nature of a British comedy. Which, while on paper looks like an incompatible mix, on screen just works. And today, I want to talk about why this makes The End of the Fucking World so much fun to watch. And yes, potential spoilers ahead. The first thing that stands out about this show is its sense of humour. Like a lot of British comedies, it loves to make fun of itself, from poking fun at the many tropes and cliches of British American film and TV, to pointing out just how utterly deranged or mildly pathetic many of the situations the show puts its characters through are. And it does so in the most brilliantly blunt of ways and with the most deadpan of deliveries, which is something I quite enjoyed. But the show isn't afraid to get ridiculous, as it also more than happily delves into the occasional bit of dumb humour, which contrasts so heavily with the show's typical jokes that it makes these ones hit even harder. The show likes to use both dry and dumb wit to make you laugh, either out of appreciation for the cleverly crafted punchlines, or simply because you can relate to the awkwardness and hilarity of many of its situations.
Fuck now.
Likewise, the characters and their interactions with each other are not only smartly written, but also feel genuine. The series is filled with a variety of quirky characters, all with their own weird way of interacting with the world around them, and the people in it, and the various struggles they all have to go through. Whether it be the happy-go-lucky dad who constantly makes jokes to trick himself into being happy, the friendly detective who has an awkward relationship with her partner in crime, or the posh mother with the perfect life who doesn't know how to feel about her daughter. Its characters are exaggerated, but relatable, and their relationships with each other help to amplify the best and worst aspects of their respective personalities. This is especially apparent with James and Alyssa. They bounce off each other surprisingly well, with James's blank expression and quiet temperament emphasizing Alyssa's standoffish nature and blunt deliveries, while Alyssa's impulsivity and brashness amplify the cold, calculated, and socially inept aspects of James's character. They, along with everyone else, interact with and reflect each other naturally without ever feeling forced, as if these characters were real people you could get to know. Of course, the quirkiness of its humor and characters are only amplified by the show's stylized presentation. From the Wes Anderson-like direction that makes every scene and shot look impossibly symmetrical and strangely picturesque, to the music, which emphasizes the coming-of-age nature of the story. There are so many little things that are used to give its presentation a unique flair. Even things as subtle as the use of a 4:3 aspect ratio for flashbacks and the specific font and color used for its text add to its distinct vibe. The show's style not only makes it stand out from a crowd, but also helps to emphasize its many quirks. But, like anything else, it has its problems, specifically in regards to how it deals with James's psychopathy. Now, there's very little I can talk about in detail here without spoiling the series, but to speak in broad terms, about halfway through the show, James's psychopathic tendencies just kind of disappear. And while I'm sure it does serve a role thematically, on a basic story level, it just makes it feel like a gimmick more than anything else. And even worse, one that, looking back on the show as a whole, feels kind of pointless. The show could have easily painted James as simply being a quiet antisocial kid, and everything would play out more or less the same. And arguably, it could have made us more sympathetic towards James and what he goes through, having us see him from the start as just a kid with problems rather than seeing him as an emotionless psychopath. It almost feels like the show wanted to have its cake and eat it too, by making its main character a psychopath to get people's attention, but not having the courage to fully commit to that idea. And of course there are many other structural problems with the show, especially in regards to the way many plot points in the series seem to happen just because, and the way many lines, quite literally, come out of nowhere.
I don't want to have sex with you.
Wait, what?
However, for as many problems as I have with it, it's still incredibly fun to watch. With its quirky humor and unique style, The End of the Fucking World manages to blend together an old formula we've seen done to death, with various different elements in a way that makes it feel new, and not only keeps you laughing, but also gets your heart racing as you fear what will happen to its cast of relatably strange characters. And though the world doesn't actually end, it leaves you with a distinct impression of what it's like when the world, as these characters know it, does. And yeah, those are my thoughts. If you enjoyed this and want to see more, check out my last video where I compare and contrast the different ways Doki Doki Literature Club and One Shot break the fourth wall. Or watch my video on Devilman Crybaby and why its gore, sex and violence make it so fun to watch. And don't forget to like, comment, share, and of course, subscribe to come fly with me. You can also follow me on Twitter for updates about this channel and other stuff, and hopefully, I'll see yous later.